Good morning. I'm Drill Sergeant Leader Wells, your Master of Ceremony. We would like to extend a warm welcome to Colonel Thigpen, Commandant Sergeant Major Taverner, Commandant Sergeant Major Young, distinguished guests, families, and friends to the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy graduation ceremony for Class 013-25. Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the official party, the invocation given by Chaplain Mooneyham, and the playing of our national anthem.
As I lead this invocation in a manner that honors my own faith, I invite you to join me silently in a manner that honors your own tradition or tenet. Let's pray. Almighty God, today we honor the graduation of Drill Sergeant Academy Class 013-25. Your scriptures tell us that you aid our remembrance of the things we diligently study. As the Army's best NCOs go to their respective assignments, I ask that you remind them of all they've learned and empower them to prepare our newest soldiers to be lethal and competent in their tasks and battlefields, ready to be one team for one fight. In your mighty name I pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Since 1964, Drill Sergeants has been responsible for training our Army volunteer fighting force. Fort Jackson is the home to the only Drill Sergeant Academy in our Army, and is responsible for providing drill sergeants to every training center across the initial military training enterprise. Since its inception, the purpose of the United States Army Drill Sergeant Program is to transform non-commissioned officers into drill sergeants, who in turn have the responsibility to transform civilians into soldiers. Our national treasure, the thousands of American young men and women who have volunteered to answer the call of a grateful nation. The job of a drill sergeant is one of a professional trainer, coach, mentor, and leader. This is not an easy or simple job, and it comes with sacrifices that each drill sergeant must make in order to perform this extremely important mission. Those who are graduating today will spend the next 2 to 3 years on the trail, training the next generation of our Army. The phrase "on the trail" comes from the frontier days when cattle were driven from California to Colorado to be marketed. The original drill sergeants coined this phrase because of the similar process of moving soldiers from one place to another, with few problems or loss along the way. There is a continued effort to move drill sergeants to that high degree of excellence and expertise for which they are known. The drill sergeant course is both stressful and challenging. The 9 weeks of training are broken down into 12-hour days, adding up to 446 hours of instruction. This training is a privilege reserved for the best of the best. Only drill sergeant course. Only the top 10% of all sergeants Army-wide are eligible to attend the drill sergeant course. Not all drill sergeants complete the difficult period of training. On 23rd April 2025, candidates arrived. During the course, 36 sergeants were removed for various reasons, with 15 being inserted, resulting in the 92 that are graduating here today. Those graduating represent discipline, motivation, physically fit drill sergeants who exemplify the drill sergeant creed. All 92 drill sergeants truly are the proud example of our Army and will undoubtedly transform the next generations of civilian volunteers into soldiers that are fully capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. Ladies and gentlemen, identified by their distinctive headgear and pistol belt are the drill sergeant leaders responsible for having trained and mentored today's graduating class. Drill sergeant leaders instruct the course in small groups of 20 candidates on average. They are highly motivated, professional, and seasoned drill sergeants who have a minimum of 1 year experience in initial entry training environment from any of the 4 training centers and advanced individual training locations. They were hand-selected to serve as drill sergeant leaders. As a result, demonstrating expert leadership, mastery of warrior tasks and battle drills, and consistently performing at the top 1% of their peers. In addition, all have completed the Trade-Out Drill Sergeant Leader Certification Program. Please join me in a round of applause for their hard work and dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Commandant, United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy, Sergeant Major Andrew J. Palmer.
Thank you and good morning. Good morning, Colonel Thigpen, Command Sergeant Major Tavernier, and Command Sergeant Major Young, distinguished guests, families, and friends. Thank you for joining us today for the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy graduation ceremony for Class 013-25. What a great day to be part of the Drill Sergeant Academy, gold standard for non-commissioned officer development and cadre certification. My name is Sergeant Major Andrew James Palmer, and I'm the Deputy Commandant, proudly serving alongside the most highly motivated and well-trained drill sergeants in the United States Army. A drill sergeant is a standard bearer for the United States Army. It's the first person a new soldier meets, the very epitome of what we expect every member of the U.S. Army to be. They are experts in all warrior tasks and battle drills. They live the Army values, exemplify the warrior ethos, and guardians of the Army profession. As a drill sergeant, you are responsible for coaching, teaching, motivating, inspiring, and mentoring thousands of soldiers as you transform them from civilians to combat-ready soldiers. A typical day as a drill sergeant starts before dawn and doesn't end until well past sunset. As a drill sergeant, you are all that your soldiers know of the Army, and they emulate everything you do. Being a drill sergeant is one of the most demanding and difficult jobs in our Army, It is also one of the most rewarding. And just as you will always remember your drill sergeant, so will your soldiers. You will be remembered for how you invested in them, believed in them when they didn't believe in themselves, and always enforced the standards, and challenged them to keep going. Class 013-25, congratulations on accomplishing this daunting challenge. You have met or exceeded every standard we set. You surmounted every obstacle. But the challenge is just beginning. Enjoy the time between now and when you report for duty, whether it be a weekend or 6 months. And take time to reflect on the challenge that lies ahead and what you hope to achieve. There will be times when you are tired, hot, cold, hungry, and more. And look to your battle buddies during those times for encouragement. Your experience as a drill sergeant will be directly impacted by the battle buddies you have and are. The task is great, and you are charged with nothing less than training tomorrow's leaders. The Army, the country, and the Constitution are depending on you. Today's guest speaker is Command Sergeant Major Michael Reyna. CSM Reyna is a leader who comes to us with knowledge and understanding of what we do at the Drill Sergeant Academy. He is a native of Chicago, Illinois, and joined the Army in 1999. He completed one station unit training in Fort Benning, Georgia, earning his MOS of 11 Bravo. Sergeant Major Reyna has had multiple deployments to include Kosovo, 4 tours to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Haiti. He has had assignments in Fort Bragg with the 82nd Airborne Division, Leader Training Brigade here on Fort Jackson, and is currently serving as the Command Sergeant Major for 4th Battalion, 93rd, as you were, 39th Infantry Regiment here on Fort Jackson. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker, Command Sergeant Major Reyna.
Sergeant Major Palmer, Sergeant Major Kevin, distinguished guests, drill sergeant leaders, graduates of class 013-25, and most importantly, family and friends, both here and virtually. Thank you for the honor and the privilege to speak on this momentous day. My speech will be brief, as I am sure each and every single one of you is excited to start your new adventure. Your chapter is about to begin as a United States Army Drill Sergeant. Whether you volunteered or were voluntold, your military career is about to change. The last few weeks, your drill sergeant leaders trained, educated, certified, and validated your abilities to execute and teach the core tenets of basic combat training program instruction, to include physical readiness training, drill and ceremony, basic rifle marksmanship, and my favorite, warrior task and battle drills. Depending on where you're stationed, some of you will start tomorrow. The young Americans you're entrusted with will not know that you are a recent graduate. All they will know is you are a drill sergeant. The very best of the United States Army. They will say and do exactly as you tell them to do. They will entrust your words and your actions. So remember what your drill sergeant leaders taught you, because tomorrow will happen sooner than you think. Now, I've been in basic combat training environment for quite a bit of time, and during my time, we've transitioned from the Army Physical Fitness Test, the Army Combat Fitness Test, and now the Army Fitness Test. I had to adapt to challenges of COVID-19. The Forge, the culminating event for basic combat training, has changed more times than I can remember. Things will change and will continue to change. Some changes will be for good, and some will make your life as a drill sergeant a little bit more demanding. So I would challenge you to embrace the changes that come. Welcoming change with enthusiasm enables you to uncover opportunities for improvement and advancement. I would also encourage you to ask questions. Questions are valuable tools. They open lines of communication, give us information, improve interactions, facilitate analysis of situation, and it motivates creativity. You'll find yourself asking your young trainee why he or she decided to join the organization. Oftentimes, the hardest element for a trainee to pinpoint is why they joined the Army. Finding the why behind their goals will help propel them in implementing and keeping their goals close when their enthusiasm starts to lag, when the temperatures are hot, and their feet are sore, when their bodies just feel like they cannot continue to move forward. Just remind them and their priorities and their why. Lastly, I'm sure you have heard the rumor of the long hours, working 6 to 7 days a week, from 05 to 2000, 10 to 16 weeks, depending on where you go. And I apologize for being straightforward, but that's the truth. Now, not all of that can be true. Hopefully your leadership has a plan to take care of you and manage your personal life. But I say all that because you will have some moments where everything will be a priority. You'll find yourself feeling like your platoon or your company cannot survive without you there. So let me stop you and tell you now, they're going to be fine. In an organization where everything is a priority, your family needs to be at the top. Changes are going to happen. Your trainees are going to have questions. They're going to need some motivation. But your family is another story. Take your child on their first day of school. Go with your spouse or loved one to a medical appointment. Eat a meal with your family. Call your mother, call your father. Remember, and most importantly, take your campaign or push hat off when you get home. Now, I'm excited for each and one of you. The nation needs you more than ever, especially these times. So I thank you for accepting this extremely demanding responsibility. For those of you staying on Fort Jackson, my door will always be open, building 10550-439. Conversations are free, and victory starts here.
Drill and ceremony is the basis for standards and discipline in initial entry training environment. During the course, the drill sergeant candidates are instructed and assessed on their ability to perform and teach drill and ceremony positions and movements, culminating with a drill and ceremony competition. The squad that displayed the highest level of proficiency is awarded the drill and ceremony trophy to be displayed until the following cycle. For class 013-25, the drill and ceremony competition winner is 3rd Platoon, 1st Squad, who was led by Drill Sergeant Cara. Please join me in a round of applause for the winning squad of the drill and ceremony competition. At the Drill Sergeant Academy, it is tradition to appropriately recognize those who distinguish themselves by their outstanding performance. In keeping with this tradition, the following awards are presented. The drill sergeant leader of the cycle is the drill sergeant leader who displayed the highest contribution to the entire platoon, created an impeccable learning environment, and displayed a standard for all graduating drill sergeants to follow. For class 013-25, the drill sergeant leader of the cycle is Deputy Senior Drill Sergeant Leader Abu Zaid. At this time, First Command will present the drill sergeant leader of the cycle with a gift for his outstanding leadership. At this time, the Deputy Commandant of the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy, Sergeant Major Andrew J. Palmer, will present the Drill Sergeant leader of the cycle with the Commandant's coin for his outstanding leadership. Senior Drill Sergeant Leader Cordero will now present the graduating class their distinctive headgear. Please hold your applause and cheering until the awardees have been acknowledged. The Leadership Award is presented to the candidate who displayed the highest degree of professionalism and demonstrated sound judgment while performing in the leadership positions. The Leadership Award recipient and member of the Commandant's List is Drill Sergeant Joshua Witter, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. The Iron Drill Sergeant Award is given to the candidates who displayed the highest degree of physical fitness during the Iron Drill Sergeant Fitness Test. The Iron Drill Sergeant Award recipient is Drill Sergeant Nathan Kimberly, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, with a score of 595. Each awardee will receive a token for exceeding the standards while in this course. Please join me in a round of applause for the awardees. The following drill sergeants exceeded course standards, demonstrated exceptional physical fitness, and maintained a grade point average in the top 20% of their graduating class. For these achievements, they are rightfully placed on the commandant's list. Drill Sergeant Alan Caro, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Hitashima Lowry, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Micah Lopes, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Please join me in a round of applause for the commandant's list. Ladies and gentlemen, the following drill sergeants are graduates of class of 013-25. Please hold your applause and cheering until the last drill sergeant is acknowledged.
Drill Sergeant David Adcock, 108 Training Command. Drill Sergeant Jacob Allen, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Santiago Alvarez, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Jeffrey Atkins, Fort Leonard, Missouri. Drill Sergeant Michael Bailey, Fort Huachuca, Arizona. Drill Sergeant Kevin Bell, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Jason Bennett, Draper, Utah.
Drill Sergeant Janelle Bennett, Fort Sam Houston, Texas.
Drill Sergeant James Nauticata, Atlanta, Georgia. Sergeant Richard Cass, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Caitlin Garcia, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Alvaro Chavez, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Sharon Collier, Fort Littlewood, Missouri.
Drill Sergeant Derek Commandant, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Justin Courtney, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Hamilton DeAndre, Fort Eisenhower, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Jeff Denton, 108 Training Command. Drill Sergeant Carmen Domino, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Jason Early, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Joshua Easton, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Emily Phoebus, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant China Flauto, Fort Eisenhower, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Christopher Sherlock, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Stephen Gonzalez, 108 Training Command. Drill Sergeant Decorrius Burns, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant John Guerrero, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Erica Hamilton, Fort Lee, Virginia.
Drill Sergeant Morgan Hanson, Fort Leonard, Missouri.
Drill Sergeant Gregory Hardy, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant my son Burrell, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Jonathan Heller, Fort Benning, Georgia. Fort Leonard, Missouri. Drill Sergeant John Powell, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Giovanna James, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Stephen James, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Madeline Harvey, Fort Huachuca, Arizona.
Drill Sergeant Caleb Jones, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Raekwon Jones, Fort Sam Houston. Drill Sergeant Scott Kellogg, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Joseph Gilbert, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Sarah Yolanda, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Sean Kramer, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Jack LeBlanc, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Nicholas McKay, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Antonio McCrae, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Andrew McLaughlin, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Jeremy Pierce, 108 Training Command. Drill Sergeant Kyle Merkel, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Jeremiah Morales, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Robin Lorisma, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Stuart Morris, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Christina Nail, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Robert Nelson, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Anthony Knuckles, Fort Eisenhower, Georgia. Sergeant Garrett P. Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Nicholas Petty, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Lauren Quintero, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Drill Sergeant Monroe Bradford, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Matthew Ray, Illinois Training Command. Drill Sergeant Michael Randell, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Richard Retta, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Susana Rivera Leija, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Drill Sergeant Jesus Rodriguez, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Rebecca Brooks, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Gerald Rosinski, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Miguel Ruella, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Roberto Sanchez, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant David Janshiashvili, Georgia Anti-Festivals, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Vivian Travaglia, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Skylar Smith, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Rick Sy, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Bernardo Talanda, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Caleb James, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Tanaka Tavner, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Big Side Ted, 108 Training Command. Drill Sergeant Stephen Thompson, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Colton Fisher, Fort Benning, Georgia. Zachary Walker, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Kenyatta Williams, Fort Bragg Island, Virginia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the Army's newest drill sergeant. At this time, Leadership Awardee Drill Sergeant Witter will present a token of appreciation to the guest speaker, Sergeant Major Michael Raynham.
On behalf of Class 013-25. Nice! Please accept this certificate of appreciation for your words of kindness and wisdom.
You have become what you set out to be, a drill sergeant in the United States Army. The Drill Sergeant Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideas this nation was founded upon and continues to guarantee. At this time, drill sergeants, past and present, please stand. As the drill sergeant leader of the cycle, Drill Sergeant Leader Abu Zaid leads the graduating class in reciting the Drill Sergeant Creed. The Drill Sergeant Creed is not a creed for every non-commissioned officer in the Army. The honor and privilege is given to these non-commissioned officers to transform America's sons and daughters from civilians to soldiers, to fight and win the wars of this great nation.
This will defend.
I'm a drill sergeant.
I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will still abide in all my training, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier needs to maintain the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never require a soldier to attempt any task I will not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song and remain standing for the departure of the official party.
You will always know
seated as the drill sergeants of class 013-25 exit the building. You will be able to join them shortly.
Right, move. Forward, march. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, nice, nice. Lead the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, nice, nice. Lead the way. Left, go left. Hey. Go left. Hey. Go left. Hey. Rise on left. You got it. Rise on left. You got it. Just like it is one time. 2 times. 3 times. Pick it up. 2, 3, 4. Shoot it, go. Reload and shoot it. No limit to the limit. I thought I told you. No limit to the limit. I thought I told you. No limit to the limit. I thought I told you. No limit to the limit. I thought I told you. You don't wanna go to war with a soldier. You don't wanna go to war with a soldier. Ooh, ha, I wanna hurt somebody. Ooh, ha, I wanna hurt somebody.
Yeah, China.
Ha, I might just bloody that body. Ooh, ha, I might just bloody that body. Go left. Hey. Go left. Hey. Go left. Hey. Right or left. You got it. Right or left. You got it. Right or left. Let's take it 3 more times. 2 times. 3 times. I don't know why I left. I don't know why I left. But I left on my own. But I left on my own. And it won't be long. And it won't be long. Till I go back home. Set me in a bottom chair. Set me in a bottom chair. Spun around, I had no hair. Spun around, I had no hair. And it won't be long. And it won't be long. Till I get on back home. Mama, don't you cry. Mama, don't you cry. Baby boy, gonna die. Baby boy, gonna die. And it won't be long. And it won't be long. Till I go back home. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Lead the way. This will defend.
This concludes our graduation ceremony. On behalf of the class commandant and captain of the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy and graduating class, we thank you for your attendance.
I got you.